What are you saying to the new documentarians and the industry people out there that want to, providing that Josh stays away from the what he said before? What would you like for your takeaway to be?
I think that, you just have to be able to tell the story that you want to tell, within reason. If you're working with a group, it's tell the story of the group or the producer, whatever else, but you have to be true to the story and you have to be true to the characters. Like I feel like my representation of the characters in the film was very open and honest. I didn't manipulate things. I just wanted them to be who they were. I wanted to have, at the end of the day, I wanted to have a piece of work that I not only was proud of, but they were proud to be in and represent. Um, it's hard. I'm going to put in a lot of hours. And it's definitely a marathon. It is not a 400-meter dash. It is a marathon, and you just live with this thing. And this thing, like I always felt that catching air was right here on my shoulder, and it was always just right here. So even if I was doing other things, I was always kind of, part of me was just always kind of thinking of things that I needed to do or I wanted to try or whatever else. But it definitely lives with you, and you have to be comfortable with, your work living with you and being with you for a long time.
All right, Josh, Jason, final thoughts, closing comments.
I'll just say I think that in our experience of people that have come to the school and gone on and worked, or people like Jamie or even Josh, who's done his fair share of documentaries, I think it can be the most rewarding thing that you do with your career, and probably also and on a flip side of it, one of the hardest things you could do. Maybe that is why it's so rewarding. I mean, we've had people come and rent our facilities to host documentaries, and we've seen them on a daily basis coming out. We've heard screaming matches. We've heard people get fired. We've been exposed to it all. And, and we're just trying to run a school here and encourage people to get into these careers. And there's people screaming at each other over some cut, or they couldn't get rights to a footage, or, oh, I don't know, somebody in, I don't know, some country couldn't get on the phone or plane, on and on and on. So I think if you're going to get into that type of area of editing or shooting or any of that stuff, be prepared that you're going all in if you want to get success out of it. And it's going to be bumpy, but ultimately, if you stick with it, it'll be rewarding. I think that's probably, as Jamie can attest to.
Josh, thoughts?
Well, I think when you're doing there's rock climbing and bouldering. And in bouldering, I believe when you approach something, it's called a bouldering problem. That's the terminology. And you try to climb this thing and solve that. And when you get to the end of it, it's one of the more, like, it's for fun. No one does it, if they're not doing it for fun or for, exercise. And I think that when I say that documentary editors and editors in general, and maybe, anyone in this sort of creative field are problem solvers, whether it's, I can't get rights to the music, I need to make this. We have to figure out how to make the best film we can make under these set of circumstances. That's problem solving, right? Trying to figure out how to get this person on the phone for an interview because it kills the movie, and screaming and yelling is another way of problem solving. But that's what I think where the gratifying part comes in and the frustrating part comes in. And, you're in it when it's just like, that's how you approach life, is that, not in a bad way. We're here to provide a solution to a problem, whatever that is. Some are better, some are worse. It's not a mathematical equation, right? There are 500 ways that you could have solved that problem, Jamie, in the film. There are 500 ways you can get up that bouldering problem. Finding one that feels right, that fits the amount of time and budget you have is also a factor. But, a different person's going to come up with a different solution. That's what makes this such an interesting industry, is that it's full of creative people with a varied sense of ideas on how to approach these sort of problems. So never a dull moment.